Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we've got a lot of debris that we should probably clean up here. Now, I'm not going to make you sit through the entire process of me doing this, but I did want to note that I was going to be cleaning this debris out, and that is a thing that is happening now. I'll be back as soon as it's done. See you guys in just a moment. Okay, so all of the debris has been cleaned out. As you can see, it is much neater now. So now that housekeeping is done, we need to decide what our next mission is going to be. And I'm leaning towards it being something along the lines of planting a flag on pole. So that's definitely something that would be interesting to do. If we're going to do that, we can use our existing Moho lander for that, I strongly suspect. It'll be... We'll want to make a few tweaks to it, for sure. We noted some problems, so we're going to load up the Moho lander here. I'm still very concerned about the detachment of these, as soon as it's done loading, the detachment of these SRBs here. I'm very, very deeply concerned about that, and I would prefer to just upgrade those SRBs to something that is a little bit more powerful. Unfortunately for right now, Clydesdales are the best that we have. So we're just going to have to make do with that. There are a few things that I want to do with the lander itself. Our Moho landing proved to me that we have several issues. One, we did not include any landing legs, and we probably should do that. We are capable of landing on the engines, but it's not ideal. So we're going to include some landing legs here. That will add a little bit of mass. I would also like to include some landing lights. Now, we can think about some additional battery power here. A Z200, would that fit right up over here? Yes, it would, on top of this sniffer. We really don't need to bring the sniffer to pull. So I'm just going to ditch the sniffer, and we are instead just going to have a nose cone up here. So that's under aerodynamics, and we will go with an extra small nose cone, something along the lines of that. Now, I would like to have some lights on here for purposes of landing. So something like, I'm wondering, are these like rotatable outside of the VAB? That would certainly be interesting. So if we were to do this, they're obviously pointing the wrong direction right now, but I want to put them on and see what our options are here. Pitch angle. Okay. That works very well. So they are pitchable. Beautiful. So we can enable them like so, and that'll turn on those lights, and then we'll have some amount of light for our landing. That'll be a good thing. No doubt about that. We're going to mostly have them disabled and hope that they don't burn off on ascent. But they should, I think, probably be okay. In KSP1, those parts would have been physics-less, so we'll see. Now, we need to check to make sure that we're going to have decent thrust to weight on this stage over pull. So let's check what that would be. So that would be over pull. Yeah, this thrust to weight is way, way higher. Okay, that's absolutely fine. No problem there. Honestly, we shouldn't really need additional fuel going to pull. I don't think that will be a significantly easier place to go to and come back from than Moho was. Yeah, that should be quite a lot easier, actually, as I think about how much fuel we're going to need here. So I don't think that we need to extend this fuel tank at all. Having lights on here is a good thing. Having landing legs is a good thing. But we do want to have some additional turn speed. Now, we could consider putting that up here. We could consider putting it here. I'm going to put it up top because generally having gyroscopes that are significantly off of the center of mass is a good thing. And if we put it down here, it'll be nearly center mass when we have this first stage going, right? So we would detach this here, like so, and then we would put a reaction wheel up this way. So that should be under command control. No. It is under one of these. Definitely. It is definitely under one of these. It's not under electrical. What category is it? Hang on a moment. It should be under command and control, right? But these are just the pods. In KSP1, it was command and control. We found it previously. Absolutely. Where are reaction wheels? Utility? RCS is under utility. Okay, I'm done looking. We're going to do it this way. Okay, so we've got stabilizer is what we want. So this is a medium-sized stabilizer. So actually, it looks like we're going to want to set this a little bit higher yet. So I want to come up this way, and I guess this is currently the root part. I want to reroute that. Okay, there we go. So we're going to detach here, attach a reaction wheel there. There we go. Now, as far as our solar panels go, we're going to be heading out towards Joule. Solar panels are going to be less effective out there. So I'm thinking about what we want to do about that right now. And that's an interesting question. We could just toss an RTG onto here. That is a theoretical possibility. What do we have for actual RTGs here? How large is this thing? Okay. So that's about the same as the KSP-1 RTG. I'm wondering what happens if we were to put that right there, like that. It looks ugly, no doubt about that, but it will generate a trickle of power for us at all times. Whether we have solar light or not, this will generate a trickle of power for us, and that will be a good thing. How much power does that actually generate? So it generates... Oh, it decays over its lifetime of 21 years. That's interesting. That is not something that it does in KSP-1. I mean, that makes sense based on how RTGs work, but it generates 0.75 per second electric charge and will decay over 21 years. So, I mean, it'll be a lot less useful by the time we are, like, coming back, but that should be okay, I think. We've got an extra battery in here. We've got the RTG, and I'm wondering right now, how much electric charge do these lights drain? 0.05. So 6 of them are going to generate less than half of what utilize less than half of what that RTG generates. So we could always have these on and still be positive in terms of energy. That's pretty neat. I like that. Okay, so in that case, I think we're pretty much ready to launch this. The main problem is clean detachment on these SRBs. We got lucky on the last launch. I want to be clear about that. That was sheer, absolute luck. The next launch is almost certainly going to take out some of these engines. And if that happens, we'll revert it back and we'll try again. But it doesn't really matter, because what we would do in reality is we would simply stage down to here, open up the parachutes, and bring that back. Cost is not a factor in science mode. There's no career mode in KSP2 right now. So it doesn't really matter. Reverting back is literally just, at that point, saving time. That's the entire thing. So we're going to launch this. Actually, I should save it first. Then we're going to launch it, and let's see if these SRBs manage to survive. First off, do they manage to survive putting it out on the pad? We've had issues with that before. They appear to actually be attached, so that's good. Next off, of course, or rather next up, we want to find out, and actually, can we turn on our lights over here? Yeah, there we go. Now we've got some lights there. Perfect. We can see our electric charge is draining right now. That's probably due to trying to run reaction wheel. Hang on. Yeah, that caused almost no difference there. So our electric charge is currently draining. That is fine. Let's lift this thing off. Okay. Off we go in the monstrosity. We have liftoff now. Excellent. And the real question is, can we survive SRB detachment? For the time being, we're just angling for straight up, and we're probably just going to keep doing that until the SRB is no more. Because, well, no, we shouldn't. In retrospect, we shouldn't. I've managed to get this to work in the past with some semblance of gravity turn. But it's dicey. It's 100% dicey, but it's dicey either way. I've had it fail going straight up. I've had it fail with the gravity turn. It seems to be just purely random whether we get a clean detachment of these engines or not. To be clear, this is a stupid design. But it's also a funny one, so I keep it around. Excellent. So we're only at an apoapsis right now of about 2,000 kilometers. Let's bring this up to a 4x time warp. It's going to become a bit of a slideshow at 4x, but it does actually go faster. So that'll be fine for the time being. And we're just going to hold at the slideshow speed for the time being. This will be absolutely fine. We've burnt out about half-ish, a little under half of our SRBs at this point. So that is fine, and our thrust to weight is, of course, dramatically increasing as we do this. Our overall weight is going down tremendously. Excellent. So apoapsis is now about 13 kilometers, and we'll see if we get a clean detachment here. I don't think we will, for the record. I don't think we'll get a clean detachment. 20-kilometer apoapsis looking good. I mean, as far as slideshows go. This is entirely KSP2, for the record. My computer is not struggling at this moment. KSP2 is struggling. We've got 35 tons of solid fuel left in these SRBs. I'm going to take us out of slideshow mode for the moment. Reason being, we've drifted a bit here. And we're also at an apoapsis of 40 kilometers. I want to move this over to prograde, and let's put this into hold attitude. And prograde should be fine here. Let's just pop over to prograde. Get some amount of horizontal speed here. Excellent. So we're just going to anchor ourselves over at prograde. And that'll be absolutely fine. 61 kilometers, 62. Yep, all looks good. I would normally be angling to be like full horizontal by this point if we didn't have these significant concerns about detaching these SRBs. And the SRBs are required to lift this thing, for the record. What we really need here is larger SRBs. That's the real thing that we need. And that will help a lot once we get those. Okay. SRB detachment, is it clean? I'm betting no. Hard maybe? It's clean. Wow. I'm actually shocked about that. That was a clean detachment. Okay, we're going to bring this over to the horizon. We don't need additional verticality. At this point, what we need is lots and lots and lots of horizontal speed. So over we go for now. We're in pretty thin atmosphere at this point. And we're just going to put this right around here. Now, I'm assuming that the KSP2 devs were smart enough to do what the KSP1 devs did and say, if you have a solar panel directly below your lights, that doesn't work. I assume that they did that. They should. I'm not even going to try it for right now. But for the moment, we're just going to hold here, and we're going to build up what horizontal speed we can. Apoapsis is about 140. We'll take it up to probably 250. That should be fine. So off we go to pull. And of course, we're not going to moho, and we have a slightly smarter design. Emphasis on slightly. It is marginally smarter. No doubt about that. We should be more capable of turning. I'm a little bit concerned about our power flow, but I think that should be okay as well. In theory. At least if we've got solar panels pointed correctly. If we don't, our reaction wheels might be a little spicy. We'll see how that goes. For now, we're sitting at an apoapsis of 155. And we have a slightly heavier payload. Absolutely. We added a couple of things to the payload here, but nothing that would significantly increase its amount of weight. I'm still concerned a little bit about returning back to Kerbal from pull here. I feel like that center core is not really as powerful as it should be in the lander, but it'll have to do. It'll have to do. We'll have a lot less fuel that we need to burn to land on pole and to maneuver around it, so it should be absolutely fine in theory. The real question is, are we going to abandon a bunch of fuel from this stage? We might. That is a theoretical possibility. We'll see if that ends up happening. And if we have to get out and push on the way back again, we can. I would really prefer not to do it. That was not fun. That was certainly not fun. So we're nearly at orbital velocity at this point. We can see our time to apoapsis is definitely going down. We're going to, or rather going up. We're going to bring this up to 250 kilometer apoapsis. We're at 240 right now. Okay, 250. Looks good. We are going to, at this point, extend our solar panels and lock ourselves to prograde. Turning is still going to be a little spicy. This poor reaction wheel is still a little overworked. No doubt about that. The real question is, how are we going to be doing on power? That is an interesting question indeed. I expect our power to be okay. Maybe not the best thing in the world, but certainly okay. Let's get this orbit circularized somewhere around here. I don't care on the actual specifics. This is good enough. And let's align to that burn. So that looks good. We're going to be seeing the sunrise shortly here. Yeah, I'm definitely watching our electric charge plummeting here and thinking, yikes. But let's see what happens once we have sunlight. Do we have enough solar panel, or do we need to actually bring more solar panel on this? We might need to bring more solar panel. But I suspect that that's only very temporary. Like, we're having a very hard time turning, and that's expected. This is extremely heavy. We've got 5 minutes to burn here, but where's that sun at? It'll be here very shortly. Presumably, it'll be here before that electric charge wears off, but we can't warp forward and turn at the same time in KSP2. So that is definitely sad. No doubt about that. So we're down to about 60. We've got about 30 seconds of electric charge left at this point with our reaction wheels. So our reaction wheels are definitely burning through it. We could turn off our lights, but to be honest, the lights are a negligible amount. So that's fine. I'm going to turn off our stability assist for right now, and you can see that instantly our electric charge is going up. So that's that RTG working there. Excellent. So at this point, we could rotate, or rather accelerate forward. We do have some amount of turning rotation here. I'm going to accelerate until such a time as we see the sun, which should be very, very soon. Any moment now. Okay, there we go. So now we've got sunlight. We'll turn SAS on, and we'll try to rotate over. But this is an extraordinarily heavy rocket, and we're probably going to have to use gimbaling to do it, in all honesty. But what I'm checking right now, okay, we are net positive on our electric charge while turning with all of this, with just these 2 solar panels. Now, that is Kerbal electric charge. Joule electric charge is a whole different beast, and we're going to have fairly low amounts of electric charge, but by the time we get there, turning will take a lot less energy. So that's good. We can see that we are actually perceptibly turning as well. So that's good. We've got about 2 minutes and 40 seconds to get this turn done. But I'm not sure that we're too concerned about that. Well, we probably should be. I think I'm going to cut out the majority of this turn, and we'll be back once we are either close to the burn starting or close to our turn point, whichever comes first. See you guys in just a moment. So it turns out I'm dumb. We weren't actually turning. We were on stability assist. So now that we're actually turning, I let it run like that for about a minute before I realized. Now that we're actually turning, we are in fact draining electric charge. That said, the sun is at a fairly oblique angle to these right now. Yeah, this is only 80% stellar exposure. So it may or may not be a net negative to run this reaction wheel in terms of power right now. But like I said, once we get a lot of this weight out of here, turning is going to be a lot less energetic of a procedure because we'll have to use a lot less power to do it because there'll just be way less mass. Like, tremendous amounts of less mass. So that's absolutely fine. We're going to continue to turn here for the next 50 seconds, but I just wanted to give you that update. We'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so here we are about 20 seconds away from this burn starting up. We've not managed to turn all the way over. That's not surprising at all. But note that as we angled back towards the sun, our electric charge is full again. So when these guys are at 88% exposure, then we are net positive. So that's looking good. We've got a burn in about 10 seconds here, and we're going to have to gimbal our way over there. It won't be the most accurate burn in the world, but that's okay. Given our turn rate, this will do. This will absolutely do. So 4, 3, 2, 1. Those are not real seconds. And mark. Okay, so we're going to gimbal our way on over here. There we go. We're now on the marker. Excellent. And let's just get ourselves into orbit here. The question is, are we going to do that on this stage? It's a real possibility, I think. It'll be close. Okay, we're technically in orbit. Okay, I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to allow us to settle a bit. In fact, I'm going to physics warp. We are in orbit right now. And I froze the physics. We're going to put this onto stability assist. We're going to separate those off. And just try to pull ourselves out of here without losing our engine. Cool. There we go. Back we go over to the maneuver node, and we just want to bring up our periapsis and roughly circularize it. It doesn't have to be perfect, just good enough. Okay, this is good enough. So that'll be fine. We've now got a bunch of delta V here that we can use to escape Kerbal. So we're going to absolutely do that, and we want to go, let's see, away from Kerbal. So that probably means around here or so at our apoapsis. We would want to burn this direction, I think. Let's double check that. This resulting burn is... Yes, this is the way we want to go. So that looks good. This is the dress orbit here. We want to set Joule as our target. I guess Bop as our target kind of works, but no, I want to set Joule as our target, not Bop. Eventually, we're going to want to set Pole as our target, but for now, Joule, you can be our target. That's Lathe there, and this over here, I believe, it says that's Joule, but it's not. I believe this is Tylo, yeah. So that's Vol. We want to be landing on Pole, which is the one way out here. And also the one in... they're all in a pretty inclined orbit. Okay, that's fine. So with Joule set as our target, we can see that we are 1.3 degrees off. Okay. I don't suppose we're in a good transfer window right now. It's kinda close. We could toss in a bunch of radial and get there, but I don't think that's a good way to go. What we really would want to do is we'd want to delay this a little bit. We'd want to delay this burn. So if we had an ability to delay it in orbits the way you can in KSP1, this would jump like here, then here, then here, then here, maybe not quite that far even. It would be a while. I think what we want to do is we want to simply pull this back. And we'll angle it a little differently later on. So we'll just go like in between Dress and Duna, and then we can raise up our periapsis here, circularize that, do the inclination change, and then we can go for our encounter that way. It won't be quite as quick. It's not in a perfect encounter, but that's absolutely understood. Let's orient this around, but that's going to take a while. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to have this oriented or something along those lines. It might be oriented. Power could be a bit of a concern. We'll see what ends up happening with that. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Atala, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.